Well, hello, and welcome to the first of many movie reviews. And today, we have a very special guest who's going to be helping me on the movie reviews, his own knowledge, maybe stuff you didn't even know, stuff I didn't know. And here he is. You've seen him before, Hollywood Whiteman. Hollywood, get over here!
That's not 6 feet.
So Hollywood, thanks for joining us on the first movie review. Hopefully you'll come back for many more.
Definitely. Maybe. I don't know yet. I'll think about it.
Well, you heard the man. I guess we'll see. Today we will be reviewing a cult classic, The Fifth Element. This is where it would be if I had the copy, but I don't. I just watch it on Netflix when it's on there. The Fifth Element, starring Bruce Willis, Mila Jovovich, Gary Oldman, and also Chris Tucker's in it, who's hilarious.
Ian Holm.
Bilbo for the Lord of the Rings fans.
Or Alien for older movie generation watchers.
So Fifth Element came out in the year 1997 and directed by
Luc Besson.
who also did
Taken.
and
I believe Equilibrium.
he also did The Professional, Leon,
That too.
which maybe we might review.
And Valerian.
That's another one. Maybe we'll get to all those one day. Who knows? We'll see. The Fifth Element, if you haven't seen it, it's a pretty good flick. I grew up watching it a lot. I was a big fan of Bruce Willis growing up. Die Hard.
Still a fan of Bruce Willis.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I haven't had the privilege of meeting the man, but
Neither have I.
good actor. So here we're just going to talk about The Fifth Element and what happens in it and why we enjoy it. So The Fifth Element, basis of the plot, Earth could possibly be destroyed at some point. The Mondoshawan are sort of friends with Earth, that they have this supreme being, which is Mila Jovovich, and they use her basically to stop evil from happening.
Her character is named Lilu.
I bet you can't pronounce the full name.
Uh,
Yeah, I can't either. So evil is back, and Earth needs Lilu. Earth needs Mila Jovovich to save it. But they also need the Four Stones. And here we enter with Bruce Willis's character of
Corbin Dallas.
and we also enter with the main antagonist of the film, Gary Oldman, who plays,
Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg.
who, by the way, I'm going to be cosplaying as at a future convention, so watch for that.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Yes, keep your eyes peeled for that sexiness.
Of course, portrayed brilliantly by Gary Oldman, who is one of the greatest chameleons in Hollywood history.
Gary Oldman, I mean,
Amazing actor.
the guy has done it all. Lilu comes into contact with Corbin.
By chance. By complete chance.
And so Corbin, obviously, I mean, you can already tell he's in love. Because, I mean, there's got to be a love story. Which, hey, I'm not hating. I'm fine. Whatever. Lilu tells Corbin that they need to go see a priest. Enter Ian Holm, who plays Vito Cornelius. And he's basically the man who's kept a religion alive for years. A long religion. And
Thousands of years.
it's been passed down. They're basically the keepers of the Fifth Element, and to keep Earth safe from harm. So they meet up with the priest, and now they need to get the stones. So where are we going now? To Floston Paradise! Enter Chris Tucker. Now, when I first saw this, I was already a fan of Chris Tucker. I mean, Friday, obviously.
Money Talks.
Money Talks. I mean,
Rush Hour.
He would go on to do Rush Hour, which are hilarious buddy cop films. And so we get to Lost in Paradise, and Leeloo has to meet up with Diva Paula Laguna? Plava? How do you say that name?
Something like that.
She has
Laguna.
Yeah, she has to meet up with an alien diva, basically, to get the stones. Well, all hell breaks loose. Bruce Willis has to save the day.
Again.
And so, Bruce comes into contact with the diva. She, unfortunately... Spoilers! You should have already seen this anyway.
Yeah.
The diva dies. He ends up getting the stones.
Keep in mind, Zorg also is searching for the stones.
Zorg's on a manhunt to get these stones.
Because he is working for an evil entity known as Mr. Shadow.
And Mr. Shadow, we never really find a lot about Mr. Shadow other than the fact that he wants to obliterate all life.
He's like evil incarnate.
We all meet up. All the characters come together at Lost in Paradise. A big battle ensues. It's pretty spectacular. Bruce Willis is kicking ass left and right. He's got the stones. Leeloo comes into contact with Zorg. And I think she kind of knew that the stones weren't in the case. That's why she threw it. She throws the case that are supposed to have the stones in it that we're led to believe to Zorg. She jumps up in a chute. He just blasts her with gunfire. It's almost presumed she's dead, but she's not. Corbin's off on another adventure. He's trying to save the day, and so the battle ensues, and then it ends just randomly after a big explosion. By the way, which Chris Tucker is hilarious in the battle scene. That scene alone is worth watching the movie.
He plays very flamboyant rock star Ruby Rod. Based on Prince.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Unfortunately, Leeloo is near death. Being shot to death by Zorg. Zorg takes what he thinks are the stones. But they're not the stones.
Corbin's got the stones!
Everyone starts to fly away from Lost in Paradise because a bomb... Zorg has set off a timed bomb. Because I guess he doesn't want any witnesses.
As all evil villains do in film. We soon discover that Leeloo herself is the fifth element.
It's finally coming to fruition that in order to make the Four Stones work, Leeloo is ultimately needed. But we're never really told how it's going to work. So the bomb is ticking down. Everybody's in a panic. Most all of the people that are staying there, the guests, the hotel staff and all that, everybody gets away in escape pods. Zorg realizes that he doesn't have the stones, so he has to come back, and he obviously has to turn off the bomb that he set. And so Corbin, Leeloo, Ruby, and Cornelius, they all get away. Zorg finally comes to the bomb, which has like 10 seconds left. Takes some kind of, I don't know what it is, some kind of communicator thing, jiggy. And he stops the bomb with 5 seconds left. And then out of nowhere, one of the random mercenary aliens just activates his own bomb. And then, rest in peace, Zorg.
Rest in pieces. No.
So Zorg's gone. Zorg's out of the picture. Well, Mr. Shadow's pretty pissed off, and he's on
As
his
you
way.
can imagine.
He's on his way to destroy Earth. So, Corbin and them have to race to the desert, put all the stones in place, and finally put Lilu in the middle. The fifth element has to be activated to save the world. The big problem, nobody knows how to open the stones. Now, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the movie because of how colorful this scene is, and how I don't know, I just really like the CGI in it. Everybody finally they finally figure out how to open the stones, but they still don't know how to make Lilu work. Well, it turns out that in order to make the stones work, which are earth, fire, water, and air, you need the last ingredient, which is a love. And that sets off Lilu.
Just like the Planeteers.
And Corbin, he finally does it, finally confesses his love after forever. Gives her the big smooch. Lilu blasts a damn beam in the sky right at Mr. Shadow. Stops him dead in his tracks. And yeah, they save the world. And that's pretty much Fifth Element. I mean, I'm probably missing several things, but I just wanted to give a quick rundown. This movie is several years old. If you haven't seen it, I highly, highly recommend it.
I as well.
It's a great cult classic.
I believe a highly underrated sci-fi film as well. Highly underrated.
And, you know, for the longest time I wanted a sequel. We never got it.
Which was planned, actually.
I guess plans fell through.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But, you know, the film stands alone as a great... I don't know where I would put it as in like a top film, but it's definitely up there for sure. It's easily one of my favorite Bruce Willis films. It's probably my favorite Luc Besson films. Is that how you say his name?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the Fifth Element, guys. Anything to add in on that?
Well, some fun facts for those interested. At the time, Mila Jovovich and Luc Besson were actually dating and were a couple. And so to figure out her native language, they actually developed their own language and used that to communicate with each other while on set. Another interesting fact is that the main protagonist, which is Corbin Dallas, and the main antagonist, which is Zorg, never meet at all in
That's
the
right,
film.
they don't. Which is weird. I don't know if I've ever seen that in another film.
And I can't recall another film like that either.
So, you know, props to that for being an innovator, at least. I wonder what that interaction would have been like. See, what's funny is in the early part of the film, Corbin works for a cab company, and Zorg actually is the one that fires him from his job.
Mm-hmm.
So
But they never meet in person.
they never meet. So, but yeah, guys, that's Fifth Element. I hope you all enjoyed the review. These reviews are not going to be super in-depth. They're just us goofing around, just talking about, you know, really cool films, you know. And obviously, as you can see in the background, you know, obviously Star Wars is going to happen at some point. I mean, the fact that it wasn't the first film probably has your all's mind boggled right now. But
That boggles my mind, that's for sure.
wanted to switch it up a little bit. But
we still kept it sci-fi, though, science fiction.
But guys, I hope you all enjoyed the review. Look forward to many more. Just really goofy stuff. And I hope you all enjoy. We had a fun time. We had a fun time reminiscing about it. You know, this is a film I really love.
Definitely.
As a final rating, out of 10, I would easily give it an 8.5 for sure.
I agree.
So, Thank you guys for watching, and hope you all enjoyed.
Stay safe. Stay quarantined.
Stay quarantined. 6 feet of distance. Where y'all?
Which obviously we're not practicing, but ignore us.
Hey, we're cool. Wear y'all's masks, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram for cool action figure photos.